just got a Nebraska buck. Wow.
Well, hello everybody. We are a week away, just about a week away, Todd, from Illinois bow season opening. How do you feel about this?
I feel good.
You feel good?
I feel good.
Todd feels good. That's good.
I feel good. I saw a couple bucks this morning sparring and doing some fighting. It was kind of good. I saw some does. I hung a tree stand. I got multiple tree stands hung. This is good. I'm going to Kentucky next week.
Morning.
It was a good day.
Going to Kentucky. Well, Todd is raring
I'm
to
ready.
go, but before we get into our season,
dude, I've been shamed by a bunch of people for not shooting enough does. Like
who shamed you?
Dude, a couple people, man. I don't want to give their names out.
Enough does? Not
Kurt's
Tom
one.
Elford.
Kurt's
Tom
one.
Elford says we shouldn't shoot any does.
I think
there's not enough deer. Why are you shooting all the does?
You can absolutely have these arguments over and over and over, but I think it's property specific. I mean, in a couple properties, I have way too many does. Other spots, I think I have a lack of deer.
Anywhere.
Well, after
lack of deer.
So. He was wondering if the cellular cameras were working. I'm like, Justin, it may have to do with how many deer.
Yeah, my cameras are working fine. There's just no deer in front of them.
You got to have something to trigger them.
Yes, but while we are all anxiously awaiting October 1st to finally get here so we can go hunting again, our buddy Josh Fletcher and Tyler Barron, they made their way over to Nebraska. Thanks to a little bit of pre-scouting from Mr. Graff and Mr. Sturgill, they put those boys in a spot where there was a bunch of deer, so let's join them and find out what happens.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Bowhunt or Die. I am westbound and heading to Nebraska. It is early September, and this is going to be a fun hunt. I'm on my way actually to meet Tyler Barron, our most southern pro staff member, and then you got me coming from the north of Wisconsin here. So you got Tyler, who's used to rattlesnakes and mesquite, and then you have me that comes from Wisconsin that's used to hunting white pines and Paul Bunyan type habitat here. So this will be fun, this will be interesting, but we are on our way. I'm going to be meeting Tyler. Probably I'll get there around 3 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to drive through the night, a little bit cooler temperatures and easier driving, so hopefully get there on time, and we're going to do a little bit of scouting tomorrow night and see if we can get ourselves on a nice buck. All right, it is about 3:30 in the morning. I am in about the dead center of South Dakota. I'm going to take a couple hour nap here, and then once it breaks daylight, then I'm going to continue on heading down towards Nebraska. So for the next couple hours, gonna move the bows and some arrows, and that's where I'm gonna be catching some shut-eye here for a little bit. Well, go west, young man, go west. Got me a cup of coffee. Still on the road yet. Woke up this morning and still heading there. I'm about 5 hours out from camp. I am excited. It sounds like Tyler's doing pretty good. He went through, I think, Colorado is, I think, his route over. My route over, being from Wisconsin, I'm going through, running I-90 right now through Minnesota, South Dakota. I'm in South Dakota right now. Slept a little bit over near Mitchell, South Dakota, and gonna be heading until I almost get to the Badlands and then dropping down south to deer camp. Hey, do you know where Walmart is?
We're supposed to end up in Illinois. Is this Illinois?
I thought this was Illinois. I must have took a wrong turn. I don't know where all our trees went to. How is that? Talk about timing. One guy coming from one end of the country, the other guy from the north end, and bang, here we are in the town at the same time. All right, well, here we go. We are set up. First hunt of 2022. I am down in Nebraska. I'm actually hunting more mule deer country than whitetails, but Todd and Sturgill were down here and they were mule deer hunting, but they kept seeing a bunch of whitetails and some good bucks too. So myself and Tyler Barron, we shifted and we actually came up here to hunt this. Right now, a lot of this is just little river bottom, old dried up creek bed breaks, but there's a pivot with alfalfa on it to my northeast, and that's where all these deer are filtering out to. That's where they're seeing them going. This where I'm on right now is kind of runs more east and west, and then it branches off in a bunch of different fingers, and that's where we're suspecting these deer are bedding at. I mean, there's trails all over in here, and it's hard to decipher what's cattle, what's deer, but looks good. This is more just a quick come in. It's the first night and it is super hot. It's 100 degrees, literally 100 degrees. So one thing I'm excited about is that there's a major cold front coming. It's going to be hitting Friday. Tomorrow's still going to be hot. It's going to be about 100 degrees tomorrow yet. So I'm going to sit tonight, more kind of an observation, seeing what these deer are doing. The wind is perfect for this sit. Well, it's our first morning's hunt here in Nebraska. And I saw one small buck. I couldn't get him on camera. He was behind me here. But I got him on a cell cam last night, just a little half rack buck. But it is really warm. It's already in the 70s. Major cold front is actually moving in tonight. Winds are going to be switching. They're already switching. They're out of the north right now and are supposed to turn a little more northeast. I like the area I'm in. There's deer beds all over in this grass. However, I'm missing the main ingredient, and that's a deer. Boy, that's a dumb one there, isn't it? That's a shooter. All right, guys. I think we have a plan. I don't know if it's a good plan, but we have a plan. We know for sure that there's deer bedded right now in kind of this little drop-off point where there's a couple of like high spots that all funnel down to this lower area. So what our plan is going to be is for this evening, I'm not going to try and push in there and hang a stand right now, even though I want to, because we know there's at least one decent buck in there and a doe bedded. So we're going to come out, go back to the road, drive the truck down the road, which deer are clearly used to seeing, and see if there's a tree right there close to the road that is where these deer would want to naturally funnel out to the alfalfa from. I'm laughing right now because I'm thinking about Tyler in the tree. Wind is really picked up. It's supposed to be up to about 30 mile per hour winds. Major cold front moving in. So today it was 88 degrees, 85 degrees, right in that range. Tomorrow it's supposed to be only a high of like 45, 50. I can feel that cold air. We got a northeast wind coming in. I can actually feel that cold air coming. So this is going to get these deer moving. I guarantee it. I'm in and I'm set up. This is what I call an SS, or also known as a CF. Well, the SS, the first word begins with an S. Second word is show. The CF is the first word. A C is a cluster, and the second word starts with an F. That's what this hunt was. Oh, I'll give you the short version. Nothing went right. Knowing what I know now for terrain, I would not have approached the way I did. The hard part is that this stuff is so subtle that it's not on topo maps. So you can't look and tell what a dip is, what's exposed.
it looks like it's flat, but you get there and you're just sticking out. These deer are spotting me. The bedding area is very limited. It's very open. They just bed in this grass and these creek bottoms. And I spooked a handful of deer coming down in here. Knowing what I know now, I would have came in from the east or west, I'm sorry. But anyway, I get down here and I found a phenomenal spot. This thing is absolutely, this is the best spot I've found so far. It's a finger of a point that comes down in this creek bottom and has a nice gradual taper. There's a bunch of deer trails that come across it, and they're just cutting across it. Filters right up behind me by about 500 yards tops is an alfalfa field. So they're just coming. I mean, it's just like perfect coming up over the top. That wind is perfect actually for this set. I go and I get into one tree and I get set up and I look, well, not set up, but I get my platform in and I look to my left. And I can see a trail, but it's about 8 yards at eye level, and it was a main trail. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna get busted in these trees. So I get down, I move about 40 more yards down that finger. I get a couple sticks in, and I look to my left, and here I see a rack, ears, and 2 eyeballs. And he's staring at me. It's a nice bedded buck, probably about 115, 120 inch buck. He's bedded in this grass about 80 yards away. Watch me. He gets up. You know, I do the famous and freeze. What else can you do? And he gets up and takes off. So I ultimately got set up. It's a beautiful spot. I'm not ruling this hunt out. There's going to be more deer to the north. But this is going to be a spot that wind is right. This is where I'm going to come down and hunt. However, I'm approaching it differently. I got everything trimmed out. Everything is good. So days like this, where everything goes wrong, sometimes end up being the days where it actually goes right. Let's find out. fall right in here. I just saw some brush fall, so I'm almost positive he's down right in here. I could hear him gurgling, so he's down. Almost too good to be true. I came in this spot. I dropped down off this ridge, and I thought I messed some stuff up. I actually jumped the shooter. It wasn't this guy. The first buck I jumped was wider, but not as tall. This guy come right at me, just like I feared. So I got two fingers that come down like this in a creek bottom, and they come across one, and the food source is behind me. That's alfalfa field. He comes right in here, and he was about 25 yards. He turns broadside, and I'm getting ready to take the shot, but he kind of kept walking. He angled away, and he came to a licking branch, and he was just working a licking branch, and when he did that, I had him at 40 yards, so I pinned him at 40. A nice, beautiful quartering away shot, and just jammed it right up in there on him. He ran down, came around, come off this ridge side. I think he fell right here about. I actually saw him. Looked like a tree. Wow! Boom! That's a beautiful, beautiful buck for this area. I am happy with that. Let's get down. We'll go take a look, see if we can get our hands on this bad boy. All right, just got down. Here's my setup. Sorry, I don't mean to make you dizzy, but that's where I was set up. He come in right behind me here. Let's go see if we can find this big boy. He's right down here. There he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Fell right down the hill. Yeah, buddy. Yes. Now that is beautiful. Beautiful. I am going to punch my tag before I even pick him up. The original tree I tried to climb is right there. This is awesome. Yeah, buddy. Nebraska buck on the ground. Bowhunt or die. Let's get him out. We're gonna punch a tag here quick, and then we're gonna get him out and take a better look. All right, here he is. This is my first Nebraska buck. Good buck. This area we're hunting in, it's not known for whitetails. This is actually a mule deer area. This is a spot that Todd and Sturgill were hunting. Yeah, sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm still excited yet. But Sturgill were hunting mule deer, and they kept seeing these bucks here. And myself and Tyler Barron both have buck tags, whitetail buck tags. So we decided, well, you know what, we're going to come up here and we're going to see if we can try and take one of these guys. This guy here came in, and I love this stand setup. I just felt good about it, but it was a cluster getting in here and getting set up. But I got in, got set up, found the right tree, and he come right at me. Again, there's two fingers that kind of filter down into this creek bottom, and they essentially cut across it. They come from the north, kind of cut across it. There's alfalfa up and behind me, and this guy come right to me. He turned, gave me a broadside, about a 25-yard shot. I was going to get ready to take the shot, and he kind of just kept walking, and then he went to a licking branch and started making a licking branch. Hit the rangefinder, pinned him at 40 yards, got everything set, and it was a good quartering away shot. I knew I could jam it up in there, and took the shot. And what I liked about it is I don't like taking super far shots, but this one here, he was tuned into that licking branch, or he was distracted with that licking branch. He didn't know that the shot went off, and it's just beautiful. Jammed it right up in there. He just ran a big circle, came back and died probably 40 yards from the tree here, and he didn't even make it down the hill here. He's trying to get down in this creek bottom, but we got a good Nebraska buck on the ground. I am excited. Can't wait to show Tyler. He's still in the stand yet, but we got one buck down. We got one more to go. I absolutely love it. I am proud of this buck. It is cool to come out of state, hunt an area that I've never hunted in before. And I don't even know if it's the second or third day of the hunt, but had this buck come in,
And again, this is a good buck for this area. I'm proud of him. This is a beautiful shot made on him, and we got some good meat in the freezer. So we're gonna get him taken care of. We're gonna get him out of here. This right here is our kickoff to 2022 whitetails. You're watching Bowhunt or Die. Okay, what I want to talk about is shooting for that opposite shoulder. So on this buck here, you look at the video, it looks like the shot was high and far back. It's not when you play shot angle. So here's the entrance wound. I'm using a kill zone. It's a 2-blade mechanical. Arrow came in just like this and down. And now if I spin him around, that's the trauma on the inside shoulder. The arrow hit somewhere back in here. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where the broadhead buried into. But that arrow, this is a great angle of it, come in and take out both lungs and heart on that quartering away shot. But if I shot for up here, you know, for the facing shoulder, let's say I wanted to pin him like you typically normally aim on a buck with a little bit back, your arrow is then going to come out by the base of the neck or up into the neck, and you're totally going to miss this whole side of the lung. You always want to shoot for the opposite shoulder. Don't think about where you're hitting here on the shoulder or the side it's facing you. You always think about the opposite end, so that when you get that arrow to go through, you can take out both lungs or heart. So I just wanted to point that out as a tip on this, is you can see how that arrow just went through and it just took out everything on inside of him. That's why he didn't go but 40 yards from the tree and died. But beautiful, nice buck.
You know, that was a pretty good hunt. I'll tell you what, one thing that was, I think, kind of fun about this hunt is I was actually hunting in that area before they got there. Right. And I mean, just like anything, like anytime that you can have boots on the ground before you get there and have some extra intel, sure. I mean, it goes a long way. I mean, we talk about scouting all the time and when you should and where you should and how far.
That process, right? I've gone on a couple out-of-state hunts in the past few years, and you usually show up cold, right? You don't have any information. So it takes a couple of days of scouting and hunting and observation to kind of start putting a plan together.
And it's fun.
Yeah, and it is, but if you can get like a little bit of a head start where your buddy can like tell you like, hey, we were there and this is what we saw. Obviously, we see that, you know, that can really pay dividends. You know, unfortunately, Tyler wasn't able to tag a buck. He had a great hunt. Yeah. They had such crazy weather, right? They went from 100 degrees to like 50 degrees in the matter of a couple days. I remember, you know, we saw Josh started off in a t-shirt. I remember getting a text a couple days later. He actually had his ScentLock heated vest turned on one morning because it was so cold, which is just crazy. But I mean, I guess that's Nebraska for you, early season. So congrats to Josh, heck of a deer. Way to get the season started. You know, actually coming up here shortly, we're about to see Josh's wife, Sarah, who harvested a buck in Wisconsin opening weekend on public land with Josh filming. So the two of them are really carrying the team on their back right now when it comes to the whitetail hunting. So you guys will have to stay tuned for that hunt in the next coming weeks. Got a few other things to show you guys before we get into that. So Todd, next up we're going to do an Ask the Experts question. This is a complicated one, and I'm really, really glad.
This is like 18 sentences.
I'm glad that PJ took this one and not us. So this question comes from Joshua Baxter. He says, I paper tuned 2 different arrow setups. One's a 340 spine with a 12 grain insert and a 100 grain field point. The other is a 300 spine with a 100 grain insert and a 100 grain field point. After getting perfect bullet holes at 20 yards, everything seems fine and they group well until I get to 30. And then there is noticeable erratic arrow flight. I know this will be an issue when I go to add a broadhead. Everything seemed right, but I am lost.
This is easy. I
am also lost.
No, dude, this is easy.
Oh, yeah,
I got this one.
All right.
You just buy a new bow.
You just need a new bow. Well, let's turn it over to PJ and see if that's his answer as well.
Hey guys, got a great question today, and I'm glad this bow hunter sent this in because this illustrates a point that we've talked about before. So this is a bow hunter who shoots 29-inch draw length, 70 pounds. He was shooting a 340 spine arrow, which I have right here just for demonstrations, and he had a 12 grain insert. That's about the standard insert that comes with arrows. It's going to weigh about 12, 13, 14 grains. So standard insert, 340 spine with a 100 grain point. So he went to a 300 spine. If you look at the spine charts for his specs, a 340 spine is right on the cutoff. It's just about to be too weak, but it could probably work. You never know unless you shoot it, but his specs, the charts actually call for a 300. Well, what he did was added a 100 grain insert plus a 100 grain point. And he was saying that he was having some tuning issues. So first off, by taking that 300 spine, adding 100 grain insert plus the 100 grain point, you just weaken that arrow, actually weaker than the 340. Take a look at the spine charts when you want to start playing with adding, brass inserts, you want to get some extra FOC. For that 300s, for his specs, 29 inches, 70 pounds, if he wants to use that 100 grain insert still, plus the 100 grain point, he should actually go to a 250 or 200 spine even, because when you add that weight to the front end, you weaken the spine. So anyway, what he was noticing was, he said he got perfect bullet holes, paper tuning, up close, bare shaft and fletched. Everything looked good at 20 yards. Then when he got to 30, he said he noticed some erratic flight. And he said he actually noticed them with the 340s and with the 300s. There could be a lot of issues that could be causing that. But one thing that I noticed from the numbers that he gave is actually neither of those arrows is spined properly for what he's shooting. The 300 would work, but not with that 100 grain brass insert. So whenever you're building arrows, make sure you consult those spine charts from your manufacturer, and usually many of them will give you different point weights. So you can imagine, he's shooting a 100 grain point, but with the 100 grain insert, that's 200 grains. So when you're looking at where it says point weight, just factor that in if you want to add one of those heavy inserts. That's where I would recommend, for this particular person, I'd recommend getting rid of that 100 grain insert and see if that 300 doesn't fly better.
All right, thank you, PJ, for that answer.
He said buy a new bow too, didn't he?
He did not say buy a new bow. Yeah, it's not what I heard when I watched that. But you know what? Arrow spine issues are a pain in the butt to try and troubleshoot. Mostly because you don't have a bunch of extra arrows laying around and a bunch of different spines and different point weights and insert weights. And it is definitely a lot, to keep in mind. But PJ did bring up a great point with that extra, 100 grain insert really softened the spine of your arrow quite a bit. So I do think PJ is onto something. So hopefully Joshua is able to get that problem fixed before his season, if it's not already open. So thanks to Joshua for the question.
It is amazing though, because I know with my setup this year, I was getting annoyed because whenever I lower my bow down, my arrows stick out so much below my cam.
Right.
So I went ahead and started playing with them. We cut them off.
Pair of scissors.
Yeah, just cut them to make them shorter, and it's amazing how much just taking an inch versus an inch and a half. I mean, how much it starts making a difference. We had to mess with my bow quite a bit, but now it's
money. I mean, the length of your arrow is also going to kind of dictate the spine, right, and how much it flexes. So yes, you can't just cut a couple of inches off your arrow and think it's going to fly
Get
the
a pair
same.
of scissors and good to go.
So, all right, guys. Next up, we're going into trophy photos, one of our favorite segments of the episode. So let's get to it.
It just feels so weird. Does this just feel? I mean, it
doesn't feel weird.
Yeah, it does. Well, it did. No. Tuesday when it was still like 95 around here, but now when you woke up this morning, it was cool. Now it's just feeling like everyone else is hunting and we're just still sitting here.
It's okay.
It's all right. We got
a lot of good fishing to be had right now.
Fishing, huh? Mm-hmm. What'd you been catching?
Just some bass.
Are we going to see some photos of these quote-unquote bass? Sure. Justin has actually been, this is kind of news to me, because I didn't realize until I snuck in here the other day during lunch to figure out what people are doing around here, because sometimes Justin's not always says he's doing one thing. He's out fishing local ponds.
Smell my hand.
Oh, dude. That is, you went today?
Yeah.
Did you catch any?
What does it smell like?
Yeah, dude, well, I don't know. This is... All right.
Let's get into the trophy photos.
But if he's caught some fish, let's see these photos.
All right, first photo. Chris Bazinski.
Dalton Roberts.
Isaac Herlick. Jackson Kluge.
James Cornelius. And Zach Faber.
See, what you guys don't get to see is that Todd and I are supposed to be going in order here, but when he gets the one that he doesn't know how to say, he skips it and then expects me to cover for him. So if I mispronounce any
I'm
names,
50 years old now. I can do those.
respect your elders.
I can
they
improvise
say.
on the fly. That's right.
All right.
Justin.
Well, congratulations to everybody. These are some great photos. We actually haven't even looked at them until right this
Ooh,
second.
that's true. We were both. Here we go.
Chris is
Don't
out.
tell me. Don't tell me you pick. I pick. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
Oof. Boy.
All right. I got my winner. I got my winner.
All right.
I think I got my winner. Hold on.
You want to go first?
Maybe I don't have my winner. I like Lil Jackson.
That's what I picked.
That's my man. Look at him.
Man,
He's looking awesome.
dude.
Congratulations to Jackson Kluge from Wisconsin. I think I met your dad a few years ago. He wrote a book. He gave me a book, and I read it to my kids when they were little. So congratulations! I swear.
What's the name of the book? Dude, now I'm putting on the
Oh
spot.
my gosh, I can remember it. I think his dad's name is Ben, right? Ben, if you're watching this, you probably will. I'm sorry for forgetting the name of your book. It's a kid's book for hunting.
Put it up
It's like
there.
a Daddy's Little Hunter, maybe something like that. It's like a good book to read with your kids when they're really little about going hunting with
Is this
Dad.
rigged? I'm
I
starting to
swear
feel like
to
this
you.
whole thing.
I swear to you.
Is this like a free advertisement that we're doing here? Big plug?
I promise
How much did
you,
he pay
I'm
you?
not telling the. I am telling the truth. I'm not lying. I am telling the truth. Congratulations to everybody, but especially to Jackson on a fine deer and a fine trophy photo. If your dad hopefully can email us because you look a little bit too young to be emailing, we will get your prize pack sent out to you. Guys, remember, if you want to see yourself in an episode of Bowhunt or Die, send your photos in, info@bowhunting.com, or you can go to the Facebook group or the Facebook page. You can post them there. You can DM them to us. However you want to get them to us. Todd even said you could print them out and come to the office and deliver them. We don't care. However you get them here,
Bring them on in.
just get them here. So
I didn't check my cameras this morning, so I kind of want to see what I got.
mine, I mean, I got a lot of deer, but nothing.
I told you,
nothing
dude,
exciting.
Oh, what the heck?
I got plenty of little bucks for my kid to try to shoot, but nothing really that I'm all that excited about.
Ooh, I got one. Better zoom in on
For
this
my
baby.
kid to shoot? No, that's a pretty good one.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one. Pretty good one.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bunch of little dinks and does. But to your point,
The season is here, and we have
we need to
plenty of
shoot
time.
more does. You said. So
I did not say we didn't need to shoot.
what you said.
I did not say that. Someone shamed me that I'm not shooting.
who's
does.
shaming you? Kurt? Did you say?
Kurt was one.
Why
Mike,
is Kurt
you're
shaming
number
you?
2. Who
Why
else?
are they shaming you?
Because I don't shoot enough deer, they tell me.
How many deer is the right number to shoot, Todd?
I don't know. This year,
Did they give you a number? Like,
I'm,
Todd,
shoo-
if you
I'm,
shoot
I'm shooting for 4.
4 does,
No, I said 4 deer.
all in Illinois? Or just in general?
All in Illinois. That's my goal. You have to have goals. I think it's good to have goals. If
My
I'm shooting
goals
for
are
4, if I
always
get
like,
3.
don't fall out of a tree and die.
Yeah, don't do that.
Try to have fun.
Make sure you read that
Those are
article
right.
on our website recently. You know, are you going to be a statistic?
Hopefully none of you are going to be statistics. Wear your safety harness, use your lineman's rope,
We better
stay
wrap this
safe,
up.
shoot straight. We'll see you next time. Bowhunt or Die.